Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Girls Lounge podcast with your hosts, Liz and KT. And we're back with part two of last week's episode, the unexpected part two. So, we are going to just be going over our full Q2 recap this episode, no segments or anything. But yeah, I'm super excited. Me and Liz have a good episode laid out for you guys. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
And I just want to say, emphasis on unexpected. The podcasting gods were not in our favor last week. And trust, we tried multiple times, but they just really wanted a part two to happen for some reason. So here we are, fulfilling their wishes. Hopefully, we're in their good graces.
Yes, so I'm gonna kind of explain the format of this episode. So again, it's a Q2 recap, and I did the layout a little bit differently compared to last time, just so it's not so like repetitive. And we might not have as much things to say about certain things. So it's gonna be split up in four different sections. So first, we're gonna talk about goals we made progress on, and then next, our lifestyle. So like what habits and routines are working right now, what feels kind of chaotic, how are we balancing productivity, rest, having fun, and just any lifestyle changes that have made a big impact. And then we're just going to get to any books and other media such as podcasts, movies, shows that have stuck out to us. And then things to work on in Q3 will be the last thing we discuss, such as goals, vibes, all those type of things.
I'll go ahead and get us started on our first little part then, the goals we made progress on. When I was working on this outline, and specifically this part, I was like, I don't know for real. Like, I feel like my life right now is very different from when we did Q1. So for those of you guys who didn't watch Q1, you should totally go watch, listen, whatever it is you do with this podcast to Q1 episode, because Q1 is basically January to March, and then Q2, which is what we're talking about now, is March to now. So this is like the second quarter of the year and everything. And I feel like my life is very different even within like Q2, because half of Q2, like March to end of May, I was in Europe. I was still living in Spain and everything. And then now, literally just June, I've been back in Kentucky. So it's like very different, I feel like. And when I was sitting here like doing this part, like what goals have I made progress on? I was like, I don't know, because I feel like some of the goals that I had for myself was very like specific to the environment, but also it's just right now I feel like I'm in the point where I'm having to adapt those goals to my new environment, you know? Like I don't know if my goal was like staying fit or something, like still like adapting to that in a different way. So like I feel like my life right now is just very weird. Like when I was like sitting here, I was like, I can't think of anything like 100% concrete that I've like made progress on these goals, which was really like kind of upsetting in the moment, you know. But I feel like it was just like in hindsight, it's change and everything. So coming to terms with that, and then just adapting in this new quarter that's upcoming. But some things that I have like for sure that I could concretely think of was like travel. Obviously in Europe I was like traveling every weekend, having these weekend trips and everything. But even now that I'm back and everything, I still have like some things like this upcoming weekend going on a girls trip, annual girls trip, very excited. And then I'm going on a trip with my family, things like that. But I think right now I'm more so figuring out what my goals are. So I feel like whenever we go into quarter three, I will have so many more updates on you for you guys, because right now I just feel like my life is a mess. Like it's all over the place, honestly.
Honestly, I feel the same way as Liz, but just in a different way because in our Q1, I was still in school. Like, I think it was like the beginning. Wait, no, I can't remember when we last did it, but I was like still in the thick of school. So, yeah, were you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, like when we recorded for Q1, it was in March because I had to go back. I was like, did I talk about goals on there? Like, what? Like, I don't know, but yeah, it was in March when we did that.
Yes, so it was March. I still had April and May of school left, and like graduation. So, and even now in Q2, like so much has just changed, and so much is still going to change in the next couple of months. So, just like so much has changed. So, I'm like, ooh, I don't even know what I talked about in the last episode. So, I just went back to my trusty dusty journal. If you're watching, you can see them right there. And I just looked at what my 2025 intentions were. So, I'm just going to talk about some goals I made progress on. So, first, going to New York City, that's gonna happen. It's kind of like a cheat one because like I kind of knew I was going, but things are actually booked now. I do think I've been pretty good at still taking lots of pics and videos. Get an internship. I kind of cheated this one because what I really meant was get an internship for the summer, but that didn't happen. But I'm still counting that I had an internship in school for that being checked off. And then making money. I was not expecting to make money the way I did this summer, but I'm happy about it. Do not be sleeping on surveys, you guys. I've made legit basically over like $100 doing surveys, which is insane. Not all at once though, so it doesn't really feel like it, but like when I think about it, it is over $100. I feel like I've been kind of good, hanging with friends. Obviously, life is busy for all of us. We have very different schedules, but we have made time to, see each other. We even have plans today, so I think that's good. Plus, we have a girls trip coming up, so I think we've been good at that. And the main thing that I'm happy about is I have been getting over my driving anxiety this summer. Slowly but surely, I still have a lot of progress to be made, but it's definitely a lot better than it has been in the past couple years. So I'm proud about that, but still, I feel like in general, still haven't really made progress on the goals that I really want to make progress on. But again, so much is still going to change. So, we just have to continue adapting our goals to what life is at the current moment.
Honestly, I like the way that you worded it, that you haven't made progress on the goals that you wanted to. And I feel like that just shows, like, puts into perspective that, like, we have these long term goals, but they're not gonna come like about like within, I don't know, like even this year we might not finish accomplishing these goals that we have and anything, but that's completely normal. So I feel like it honestly, it makes me like in the moment when I was like I said, I was like stressed and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm a failure, I have no goals. But really it's just like that's just the way life goes. Like it's gonna go in different shapes, different turns and stuff. And those goals are gonna come about in like different ways. Like it might happen, just not like how we expected it. So I feel like doing this quarter thing really like just put into perspective that like it's okay to not be okay.
Exactly what Liz said.
Okay, so the next one that our next little like segment is just lifestyle. So like some of the things that we might like talk about is just habits and routines. Are they working? Are they not working? Um, is what like in the quarter felt in sync or chaotic? Just balancing productivity, rest, and fun, of course. And then just at the end, we're gonna discuss any lifestyle change that made the biggest impact. So for me, waking up early is definitely I feel like a lifestyle change that I have been doing like pretty consistently. Don't get me wrong, I'm not waking up at like 6 a.m. Not that my sleep schedule is fixed. I'm up at like 8 or something like that. But it's still early. Like early is early. And just like really I've been pretty good, I feel like, for the most part, of not like bed rotting for hours, because I feel like past summers I would just like rot like all day in my bed. And while sometimes I do that, like that's okay. Honestly, I feel like that's like a mental like reset and everything. I try to like at least rot no more than 30 minutes and then like get up and everything. So that's been one lifestyle change, and I actually have really enjoyed it. Like I've been going recently to the gym in the mornings and I just feel so much more productive. I struggle so much to get my foot into the gym, but like once I'm there and like I'm up and going, I like eat breakfast and anything, I just feel like so much better with my day and I feel so much more productive. Even if there's those days where I literally don't do anything that's like productive. And then I also, while I have been waking up early, I do want to get more into a routine, specifically creating a routine now that I'm like back at home and just being more consistent with that. Yeah, I really just need to figure out like what I'm doing back at home now. So, and then I feel like my lifestyle is just very chaotic and not at the same time. So I definitely want to improve this for the next quarter. Like, there's not a lot going on, but at the same time, I could do more to like make my lifestyle more beneficial to myself. And then what I feel I need to focus on most for the next part of my life, or like not the next part of my life, but the next like quarter and everything, is just improving my lifestyle and really doing things that like benefit me and not so much just like doing it because like other people are doing it. That's what I came up with.
For me, let's just say I'm not really balancing very well, just everything, just having a schedule because it is summer. I'm just like, okay, Kennedy, like you can, chill out a little bit, but still like be on a schedule. But I'll just tell you guys the little things that have helped me. So basically, I asked ChatGPT to make me a schedule for working out and just like an everyday schedule. And while I have not been the best at, you know, sticking to it, it does help me have like kind of like a routine though still within my day, like things I want to get done. Like I said, okay, chat, like I want to wake up early, I want to make sure I get a workout in every day, I have time to do like my own things but also have time to do the things for my mom as well. So it made me this whole schedule, time stamped. Now have I followed it? I think maybe one day successfully. But my hope is after our girls trip, I can like finally, be into like my routines, get it together. But that has helped having like it set out and guideline for me because like that's literally been my whole life as a student. Like I've been a student for the past like let's see, you got 12 years of like regular schooling, 13, 14, 15, 16. For 16 years, I've had like my schedule told to me. So having Chad do that for me, like not having that school pressure has really helped. And then getting ready as soon as I get out of bed really helps as well because it really sets me up for the day. And it's like, okay, I'm ready. That means, I'm ready to start my day. My problem is I do like to lay in bed for a bit before I actually get up and get ready. So I need to like cut that out a bit because sometimes I just take it a bit too far. And it's like I could be doing something more productive. Like, okay, if you're gonna lay in bed, at least like read or something, not be scrolling on TikTok. Let's see. And for me, what's been the most chaotic this quarter so far is just, or in Q2, was just dealing with just post grad emotions and everything towards grad school. I feel like it just has been so much to deal with. Like, I just like graduated in May and then I'm just back at home and just like a different schedule, like just like that because I literally moved out of my college apartment on graduation day, so it was a lot happening. And then it's like, oh, then I like was hanging out with friends, and so it's like it was just like a lot at once. And then just dealing with everything with grad school. Like it's almost July and I just now kind of have like made a decision on like what my grad school experience is gonna look like. But even then there's still a lot more that I have to do for orientation. So it's just like a lot. And it just feels so like adult in a way than like undergrad because I feel like undergrad they kind of like hold your hand through the whole process, but grad school it's a lot more is up to you to like figure things out. So it's just kind of been a lot, but I feel a lot more at ease with all of it. But it's just kind of a lot navigating through it, especially when like you have some friends who are like already working full time, they don't plan on going back to school, and you have some who are going to grad school and but they already kind of have it figured out. And so it's just like a lot going around. It's just like I don't know what to do, but we're getting through it.
On the part where you said about like getting up and just getting ready, I swear by that, you guys. Like, I feel like it truly makes a difference. Even this morning, I like got up and I had to do laundry because I haven't done laundry like in a month since I got back. So I was like, today's the day I need to get to do the laundry. And then when I put my laundry in, I was like I hadn't like done my hair or anything, and I was like, I'm so tempted to just go back in bed and not do anything and just like wait until the laundry's done. But like I was like, no, like I need to get ready. Like even I literally have I'm not going out like anytime soon or anything, but just like washing your face, doing your hair, and even if you're just like in your pajamas, because trust, I still have my pajama pants on. Like it just feels so much more productive that you're like ready, like you're ready to tackle the day if something like comes up. Like you can't use that as an excuse. I think that's the biggest thing, because like if someone like were to hit me up and it's like, oh, like do you want to go do something, or do you want to go on a walk or something, I'm like, I can be like, oh, like I'm not ready, like I have to get ready, like I just have to change clothes, and realistically that doesn't take long. So I feel like that truly does make the difference, and it's like something so small that you would overlook, but it I swear by getting ready.
Yeah, like it really does just make you feel a lot better. Like I don't do anything until I'm up, brush my teeth, wash my face, and change out of my pajamas. Like, okay, I sleep in like t-shirts and a shorts, and like even then, like I'll change it to like another t-shirt and like pajama pants, but still is better than like my actual PJs that I slept in. And because summer's past, you guys, when I tell you not to be gross, not to expose myself, but like that, them teeth and face wash wasn't getting done until I was going to bed. So now that I actually get up and do it every single day, it just makes me feel so much more productive and just ready for the day and ready for more spontaneous plans. Like Liz said, when someone's like, hey, you want to do this and this? I'm like, yes, I'm down. And it kind of like encouraged me to get everything that I want to do for the day done. Like for the past couple of days, like I've done the things for my mom and then I just have so much free time. I'm just like, well, if I have plans, I'll be ready. But if not, I'm just gonna chill and like go outside and read. So it just really helps set up your day for real.
No, because I was also in the same boat, KT, like past summers me. Yeah, sometimes teeth wouldn't be brushed until the night when because I didn't do anything that day. And y'all lying if you never had that life, if you never had that experience. And then the other thing I want to touch on with what you said about just like the lifestyle of like post grad is so different in the sense of like it's still summer, like it feels like summer, but at the same time it's like not, because it's like real life now, like get it together. And that's what I keep on telling myself, and it's like, yeah, and it's just like the lifestyle of seeing how like people's different lifestyles are, because like your whole life everybody's had if you're like surrounded by people that are also doing school and stuff, everyone's had the same lifestyle. Like you might have like different things you're studying, different schools, but you all still have that same lifestyle of like, okay, this is summer, next up is school. But right now, like your post grad, it's like everybody's doing completely different things. Like everybody's lifestyle is going to look so different, but at the same time, every lifestyle is like quote unquote like normal, you know? Like there is no like normal. So like don't feel what I keep telling myself, it's like don't feel like putting yourself down because your lifestyle isn't matching like everybody else's.
Yes, and I feel like with post grad as well, I found that your decisions are a little bit more serious. Like in undergrad, it's like, okay, yeah, yeah. Like it's not as serious because you know what you're doing. But post grad is like, for me, like I made the decision to like stay home and do school because for me, I feel like it just made more sense with my program because I was thinking more in the future. Whereas like undergrad, you don't have to think in the future as much. So that was like also kind of like another change with post grad life where you just kind of have to think more about the future and where you want to go in life more than you did in undergrad.
And then our third little segment is just any books or any other media, for example, like podcasts, shows, movies, etc., that have stuck out to us this past quarter. So, for me with reading, y'all know I've been doing my reading, but I do want to, for this upcoming like quarter, get into more like nonfiction or like lifestyle books, and I feel like I need to get the physical copy specifically of like lifestyle books because I've tried reading one, the Dolly Parton one, not Dolly something.
Dolly Alderton.
Yeah,
I,
that one. I always confuse her with like Dolly Parton, the singer. But that book, I tried reading it on my Kindle, and I was reading through it, but like to this point, I haven't finished it. And I started that like months ago, you know. So I think with those lifestyle books, I really need to get like the physical copy of them. So I do want to read some more of those books. Maybe do it like reading my, my regular fiction books and then like reading that as like a side book and everything. So I do want to do a little bit more of that. And then podcasts that have stuck out to me this past quarter, pretty basic. I know Kennedy and Kelsey, they love the Pretty Basic podcast, and I love Alicia and Remy. They're like the OG YouTube girlies, you know. And I hadn't really gotten into their podcast, but this past quarter, I really got into the podcast. Like I'm only a couple episodes behind right now, but just they are like longer podcasts. They're like an hour or so. But honestly, it goes by so fast. I feel like I'm in the room with them, like chatting with your friends. Like I love the vibe between them, and then just the way they bounce off of each other, I really, really love it. And sometimes it's like super unserious stuff, but then sometimes it's like more like deeper things. So they have a like pretty mix of everything, and I really do like their podcast. I've also been listening to Suburb Talks a lot. Now, if you think like the Pretty Basic episodes are long, Suburb Talks episodes are long. They are like 2 hours, I feel like. But I feel I don't religiously watch them, but I do watch like every now and then a little bit of their episodes. They're more like laid back, you know, like that chill vibe. And then y'all know me, the ELP, the El Luchador podcast, and they recently came back because they took like a couple week break, but they're back. So I really do like their podcast. And then just for like world news and everything, I really like listening to like the NPR podcast, specifically the Up First one. That's one that I'll listen to like every morning when I'm getting ready because it's about like 15-20 minutes, and that's like how long it takes me to like wash my face and like do whatever I need to do to get ready and like sign my hair or whatever. So I do it kind of like keeping me on schedule, you know, but also just keeps you up, gives you a quick little summary of what's going on in the world. I also like to consider this one, the NPR politics one, and then the New York Times one has a podcast that's called The Daily, and they kind of deep dive like something specific going on in the world, and it's like a 30-minute podcast episode, but they give you like background and everything, which I really like, and they just like really put everything into perspective. So those are just some podcasts that I've been listening to. And then shows that have stuck out to me. Honestly, I'm like sitting here now thinking of what shows I like watched this past quarter, and I feel like nothing like specifically. Oh, I've been watching The Buccaneers. That one's pretty good. But like honestly, I feel like the shows, they weren't hitting that much for me this past quarter. But quarter three, I'm so excited for you because everything's dropping.
Yeah, similar to Liz, I don't really have any shows or movies that really stuck out to me. Books, I don't really have any either, but I will say I've noticed kind of how my reading like taste has changed a bit. Not really changed, but I've like find myself wanting to explore more books outside of the romance genre because I feel like a little burnt out from romance in a way. Now don't get it wrong, don't get it twisted. I will always be a romance girl to my core. Like that I've always read romance books since I was a little girl. well, not a little girl, but I'm just have always been a primarily romance reader my whole life. But recently I just like cannot, I don't know if it's just the books themselves, but I'm just like, I just do not want to read this. Like I've just been really towards just like general fiction books, like my Christian Hannah books, my fantasy books, and just I want to read more of my nonfiction self-help books. Like that's just kind of the vibe I'm in right now. So I've noticed that like I'm currently reading a Hunger Games book and I'm loving it. I'm actually almost done with it. I want to finish it today. I got like two more chapters left, but yeah. So I guess I can just say, for books, my taste is just changing, but not in a bad way.
No, KT, because I also feel that way. Like, don't get me wrong. I love, like, romantasy right now is my thing. Like, something about that. I feel like just, like, the regular, like, contemporary romance, specifically the ones that are just, like, the whole plot is just the romance. Like, obviously, that's, like, you're, like, getting into, but they're just kind of, like, there's no depth to it, you know? Or, like, there's no, like, world building. Like, that's what I really like about the romantasy books is that there's so much more, like, obviously it is focused on, like, the couple, but there's so much more. Like there's all these other characters, the world, like all that kind of stuff. But then also I've really been enjoying like romance books that are having those like deeper meanings or like deeper conversations, like the Abby Jimenez book, the Just Last Summer Someone, like that one had like deeper meanings. The one I just read, like the Jessa Hastings ones, like think like it's just I feel like I'm not into that like superficial lovey-dovey like cringy high school jock type thing anymore. And I feel like honestly, it's just we're adulting.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like I'm wanting just more from my romance books. Like, if you watched our last book episode, I think I said like for like my Ali Hazelwood book, I was more invested in like the other parts of the book and not the romance. I'm drawn towards books where romance is the subplot because I feel like for some reason the romance is built up more in those books. Like, and just because there's so much going on, it just adds more to the romance almost. So I definitely, that's just where I'm at right now. And then I'm basically in my podcast era. The one that I picked out to talk about for today's episode is this podcast called Diabolical Lies. And I love it because it's like a pop culture and politics podcast mix. So it basically takes big things happening in pop culture and just kind of adds the political aspects of it and like the history behind it. So it's basically like the podcast, like, you know how people say, like, oh, it's not that deep. Well, this is a podcast telling you why it really is that deep, and I really like it. I'm gonna pull up some episodes that I really like. Like I like it so much that like they kind of have like extra podcast episodes that you have behind a paywall, and like I would pay for them because I really want to hear what they have to say. But I've really liked Liv Schmidt and the sexless allure of skinny talk and the history behind all that was really interesting. I really want to listen to the episode about Caroline Levitt. I also listened to the one about Maha moms and the politics of wellness. That was really good. And also Lily Phillips and the politics of sex work. So those are some of my faves I've liked of them. And there's so much more through their backlist, I guess you can say, that I want to listen to. But it's just so good. And they're just so informative and they just bring in good sources, good views. And it really does make you kind of look at things a bit differently.
I just like got onto their page and the Caroline Levitt one immediately as soon as you said it, I was like reading through it. Yeah, I'm gonna need to check out this podcast. They sound very, very interesting. And honestly, the paywall ones, yeah, might have to look into that, Kennedy.
What you said, there's one that they have about Luigi that I really want to listen to, but it's behind a paywall.
Forgot about Luigi. And now we're gonna move into our like last part of our little quarter wrap up, and it's just things to work on in quarter 3. Any goals, any vibes, anything that we want to do in quarter 3. So quarter 3 is going to be so if today's June. I'm bad with that. July, August, September. I think it's June to September. Yeah, don't quote me, you guys, though. But anyways, for me, I have establishing a routine. I really, really want to like figure out what my post grad routine is, and with that, also figuring out like what I'm doing in my next quarter, not just my next quarter, what are the next steps in my life. So I really want to build that into my routine of just like, okay, I need to lock in and figure out what I'm doing, which direction I want to go in, and I feel like if I do a routine I will like have to because right now I don't have that routine, so I'm like brush it aside. But like no, I need to lock in, and then just being consistent. With that, just being consistent in everything and anything. Specifically, like for example, like a routine, I have to be consistent. It can't be a like once a week thing. It needs to be a daily thing. Also with that, I was thinking like going to the gym. I've been going to the gym a week, wow. But just like being consistent, because I know like right now I'm like constantly sore, and people are like, oh, like after 3 weeks like the soreness goes away. So I need to get to that part where the soreness goes away, because honestly I feel like I've never been consistent in the gym to where the soreness goes away. I feel like I've always just been sore at the gym. And then another thing that I have is just focusing on myself and doing things that better my well-being. With that, I was thinking like working out, the routine, obviously, but also just like those self-help books. There's so many that I really want to read. Like the Mel Roberts, I think is her name.
Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins, that one. Look at me, jacking up all the last names. But I really want to listen to that one. Listen to the podcast, but also like her self help book that she has. I feel like there's so many things that you can take away from self help books, and it's like that really like call you out. The other day, me, Kennedy, and our friend Jill, we went into Barnes and Nobles and we picked up that book and we were like, okay, let's just like randomly flip through here and like stop at a random page. Yeah, all of those pages like called us out. So I really need to see like what else do these books have to hold for me, but just really focusing on like me, like this is my time, this is my era, to like better myself in every single way. So I really want to take initiative, be productive and proactive with that. And then I know Kennedy agrees with this next one that I have, but I need to get on the grind with the socials. My like Europe, I like vlogged like my weekend trips and stuff, and like in the city and everything where I was staying. So I have all that like sitting on my camera. Like I'm to a point where like I haven't even like transferred it all to like my phone. Like only like some I have transferred. So I really need to get like on the grind with that, because I also like it's like fun, I feel like, to look back at those videos. But editing, I've like me and Kenny, we've been talking about this a lot, because I've been getting so many TikToks on my For You page of like editing videos, like getting on the social media grind and everything. And honestly, I think it'd be fun. The editing part really, really scares me, but I just need to get over my fear. And hopefully, in quarter 3, I have at least one video edited or something. And then instead of writing, doing something. So with that, I just mean like literally what it says. Like if I'm writing, I need to get up and do something. Whether even if it's just like reading a book, stepping outside, cleaning my room, like doing the most random, just doing something instead of just like doing nothing. So those are my goals for quarter 3, and also just like beyond quarter 3, hopefully.
For me, the first thing I want to do, I want to establish a morning routine. I think that's really what holds me back. And I know really for a good morning routine, you got to set yourself up the night before. So I also should probably establish a good night routine as well, getting into bed earlier, yada, yada, yada. But I feel like I really struggle with kind of getting up in the morning because it's like I don't have a set routine except for, brushing my teeth, washing my face. Like sometimes I'm not always hungry when I first wake up. I'm still trying to figure out if I want to incorporate working out in the morning or keep it late at night. I know some people are like, oh, like I have like a coffee or a drink that makes me, ready to get out of bed so I can have it. But like I'm not trying to have caffeine every day. It's just not good for my anxiety. But it's like I just have to figure out what works for me. So I really want to work on that, especially with in the next couple of months, starting grad school at home. I still want to have a good routine here, just like I would on a college campus. Oh, and also, Elizabeth was right. The next quarter recap will be in September. I looked. I forgot to say that before. And then also, I want to get into I wrote meditating, but like more so just wellness practices. I feel like I really fell out of that like manifestation, things like that. And I feel like I'm always like, very hopeful and the happiest when I'm really into those things. So I just really want to get back into those. I can't really think of any other wellness practices at the moment, but I know there's more and I just need to get better at that. Gratitude, all those type of things. And then like Liz, we need to get on the grind with our own social. Like me and Liz, we talk all the time about how, honestly, me, Liz, and Kelsey, we're always like, YouTube, TikTok, podcast. But I feel like we're kind of, well, I don't want to label Liz and Elizabeth this, but a few episodes ago, I talked about this podcast episode that really resonated with me, or this YouTube video called Lazy But Ambitious. And that is so me. It's just like, I love editing YouTube videos. I love doing the podcast. I love doing TikToks. But when it comes to sometimes making it, for some reason, there's this block in me that like I can't get myself to do it. I have to force myself, even though once I'm actually doing it, like I'm having the best time ever. So it's just like I don't know what that is, what that block is, what I have to do to get over it. Cause it's like it's standing in the way of my personal life goals, you know what I mean? So I just really need to be consistent, especially I feel like YouTube videos is the main thing I want to work on being consistent with, because that's like that's my thing. I love editing videos. I love doing all that. Go subscribe to me if you want to. But yeah, that's just something I really want to work on.
Yeah, that block, you can label me that way. I own up to it. It's like it's the getting started block for me. Like it's actually sitting down and do it. Like the amount of like things that me and Kennedy and like me and Kelsey, like we send each other like all these videos like, oh like that's so cool, blah 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 blah. We never follow up on it because it's just like it really is that. It's lazy but ambitious. Like something about the getting started, it takes everything out of me to do it and get to that part. But I really just need to overcome it, push away that block, use all my strength or whatever to get it out of the way because it is, like Kennedy said, it is standing in front and it's standing between our goals. It's standing between reaching our potential.
Exactly. I think what we need to do is we need to make a pact that every week we have to do something towards our social media goals, and we'll keep each other accountable.
I agree. That can be part of our like daily, our life update for the week, you guys. We're gonna hold each other accountable. I mean, you guys can hold us accountable too.
Exactly. And then next, I still just want to work on building reading back into my routine. I would say I am out of a reading slump, but it's still like reading is still not as in my routine as I would like it to be. Like I pretty much only read at night, but I hate that. Like there's so many other hours of the day. I'm still trying to work it into other things. Like I've been like reading outside after I finished doing stuff for my mom recently. But I just want to just get back into it as I not necessarily as I used to be, because I like legit would like read from sun up to sundown, which was like fun, but there's other things in the day I want to do as well. So I just want to continue working on just reading good books, reading more consistently, and just being back in my reading girl era, reviving my books that I am slowly but surely, and just, being a reader girl again. And then lastly, I want to get into journaling. It is so hard. It's one of those things again where it's like once you do it, you're like, why do I stop this? Like, why do I not do this consistently? But it's just one of those things again that I just have to, kind of tell myself, you'll feel better afterwards doing it. So why not doing it? What? That didn't make sense. So why not do it? Yeah. And also I'm listening to this podcast, What We Said, and one of the hosts is reading this book called The Artist's Way, and they recommend this practice where you do morning pages and you write 3 pages every day, and it's supposed to help with your creativity and stuff. And I can definitely see that. And I feel like I should like kind of like start doing that in a way. Not necessarily writing 3 pages, but journaling every day in the morning to just really build that habit. And I feel like that could just help me a lot mentally and creatively. Oh my god, that's like a Maya from from Love Island. Creatively. It would help me in my creative mind. That's what I'm trying to say.
Creatively. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, journaling, honestly, journaling is one of those things that is very intimidating to me, like truly truly like scares me because there's so many ways you can do it. You can do like the junk journaling, you can do the like you have the prompts, and then there's people that like decorate their pages. It would just, I feel like the perfectionism in me would just absolutely, I think I'd crash out while trying to journal. And journaling is like cleansing your mind, putting it out on paper. Yeah, I think I'd go into crash out.
Yeah, and it's like for me, I don't have perfectionism, but for me, I get very overwhelmed by when I have a lot of decisions and choices. I could go with something. So for me, I'm like, this is too many. I can't choose. So I'm not going to do it. And that's my problem with a lot of things.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's me in every single thing. But anyways, with that, you guys, that is the end of our little quarter 2 wrap up. And honestly, I'm so glad that we did this because when I was doing the outline, as I've like mentioned, I was so intimidated and like so scared. I was like, oh my gosh, like what have I done? What went wrong in my quarter 2? I've literally done nothing. But no, it's just really putting into perspective of like 3 months is a lot. Like 3 months is a lot of time for you to do things, but also for like it's also not enough time for you to like accomplish all of your things. So anyways, if you guys haven't like done your own like little quarter wrap up, so even just like writing it down or something, highly recommend because it really puts out on paper and into thoughts like what it is you want to accomplish and what it is you like haven't accomplished yet.
Yes, and I think I love these episodes because just talking it out with Elizabeth, it really just helps kind of like put our thoughts into perspective and just really like clear my mind, our minds, on like what we went, where we're going, and things like that. And feel free to comment down like your goals, what you want to work on, what you've accomplished in the past quarters down below, or like in the Spotify comments, anything like that.
Yes, Kennedy said, because just like listening to her, and I'm like, okay, like I'm not alone. Like Kennedy also like doesn't have it all together too, you know? Like we all doing our own thing, but like still like very similar in different things. So definitely really like that. And like Kennedy said, make sure you guys are interacting on all of our socials. We'd love to see where you guys are at with your quarter. What did you guys do these past 3 months? But without further ado, we'll see you guys next week, and make sure that you're following us on all of our socials and rating the podcast episode, whatever it is you need to do to boost us. But bye.
Bye.